lot of people,
really?
yeah, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's such a gentleman, he's such a nice person, and
Wow,
saying,
that's
yeah,
good. That's good to hear.
yeah. So you're getting some really nice feedback. Right. So October Red Boxing here with no other than Richard Riakporhe, Cruiserweight, who goes on stage tomorrow. Rich, thank you so much for joining us. I'm alright to call you Rich, actually. I've just made that assumption.
Yeah, no problem. It's not a problem at all.
King of Adidas.
Well, we were supposed to do the interview yesterday. What happened?
You know what? What did happen? People were scrambling for you, and I'm one of these. Have you ever been to a club with your friends?
Yeah.
And there's a couple of nice looking girls there, and your friends just rush that one nice looking girl,
Yeah.
and you stay back. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I up the target.
Yeah.
I let everyone go for it.
And you just
and then I sneak in later.
Yeah. You attract, you don't chase. I like that.
Well, there you go. Well, yeah. Well, I'll take that. Attract, I don't chase. But yeah, we get here. We're here now. 22 months. Everyone's saying the same thing. 22 months out the ring. Obviously, you've been training. Talk to me a little bit about what you've been doing in that sort of layoff from the stage, not from boxing, because we all know you're still busy. But what you've been doing?
In the meantime, obviously during that period, to be honest, I was just kind of getting my team together, because that's one of the most difficult things in this sport. A lot of people want to become stars. A lot of people want to box on a big stage. They want the money, they want the contracts, but if you do not have the right team, it just doesn't work. Somebody does something that you don't like, you're not happy, it takes away energy from your training, you're focusing on that, and you don't have a peace of mind. And it's all of these little things that I had to kind of work with. I had to create a whole new team and also build trust, because that's something that's rare in boxing. You know, when not just in boxing but in life. You know, when there's money involved and stuff like that, attention, press. You know, it's people love that more than anything else, and they'll do anything. They'll sell you if they need to. You know what I mean? To just to secure themselves, secure their bag, and it was just building trust. And I'm one of them individuals where it takes long for me to trust somebody. I'm a Capricorn, so yeah, I get that. And anyway, I built my team, working on that, and we built trust amongst each other. And then we got to a place where everybody was happy. You know, we had a target, we had a goal, and we're working towards it every single day. And we're on track. You know, I believe we're going to realize all of the goals that we want to achieve. So it's just a period of time for us.
So you mentioned about building the team and trust. From what you've said, you've had your fingers burned. Can you touch on anything to do with that, or just give me an example? I'm not expecting to go into detail, because I understand everyone has privacy, but you've had your fingers burnt. Give me an example of something that's happened.
Well, to be honest, it's not something that's happened specifically, because it's just sometimes you may see some, like for instance, you may have a person come into your circle, and you give that person a chance. Then you just observe them from the sideline, and you realize they're not here for the dream. They're here for the cameras. They're here to get our attention. Some of them are there for the money. But then when it comes to doing your job, doing your work, it's like they forget about all of that, because they're so excited. And you see them, just watch their body language. You just see them. This is what motivates them. This is their drive. They just want that cameras. And I'm one of them individuals. Once I sense that, bang, this is not the guy. This is not the guy. I'll give you a chance. And I'm not saying nothing. I just know what type of person you are, because I've seen many. I've been here in this game for a decent amount of time now to understand to an extent. And it's just things like that. You just start to analyze, and you need a team of winners. Like for instance, my coach, Angel Fernandez, he doesn't do no interviews. He doesn't want to talk to nobody. He likes to be in the background, because he don't care about none of that. You know what I mean? And that's that type of energy what I like, because you're focused on your goals. You have your own ambitions and your drive, and you're not gassed up by any cameras coming out and people asking for pictures and stuff, because it's just for the meantime. You know what I mean? Things like this, there's a chance that it may not last forever. You know what I mean? So you can't fall in love with it, because once it's not happening no more, you're going to be depressed thinking that your life is going wrong. But that's why I just want like the right people around me. So it's always been difficult to find that. And but yeah, to be honest, like now it's all good, and especially like people that you can trust as well, because you want to be able to lead them on certain things, and you open them up to your camp. This is a sacred thing. When you're training, you're using different strategies to deal with your opponents in the future. There's a lot of spies in the sport. Everybody's always talking. Oh, did you see Richard the other day? It was from the hook. That was a bit naughty, wasn't it? You know what I mean? And then the next thing you know, they're divulging that information to like other people, your potential opponents. And they're like, okay, we're gonna watch out for that. We're gonna practice it. You know what I mean? And that's giving them the edge. Or maybe some certain type of training regimes that we use. We're like, okay, he does that, we'll do that. So it's one of them games you just have to be careful, and I'll do my research. You know what I mean? You have to do your research on these people. Like where you come from? Like who are you? What's your background?
But how on earth then? Because I'm a Libra, I'm October born, and my motto is trust no one.
October red.
There you go. You see, you are clever. You are one clever man. It's my birthday next Tuesday. A shout out.
Birthday in
advance. Anyway, how do you then, after seeing that, after being involved in that, how do you then recover to say I've still got to learn how to trust people? Because you it sounds like you put your career on hold because you needed to get those things right. Now that takes a certain amount of discipline. And now if you're on a path, which you were on a lovely path, you were going places anyway, how do you then say, stop, reevaluate, it's going to take time, or maybe you didn't even know it was going to take time at that point, to say, and I'm still going? Because I said it to you when I saw you the other day. Yeah. It's like he just disappeared.
Yeah,
getting excited, watching you fight, seeing you in some really good battles, and then all of a sudden, where is he? So how do you then have that mindset to say, you know what, I'm going to have to start trusting people, I'm going to have to start letting people in? How did you deal with that?
Because I understand life. I understand that there's no security in anything. So we have to roll the dice, we have to take a risk.
Okay.
And even though there's a chance that you might get burnt, everything, obviously, then you can make it a bit more calculated. Yeah? And that's what I learned to do. When I jump in the ring, I take a risk. Jump in a 50-50 fight, it could go either way, take a risk. And I've became accustomed to that. So I understand, even though I always have my barriers up and stuff, but I take a risk to trust the person. And until that person shows me that they're untrustworthy, then that's when then it's all good. Yeah.
Right, so you're prepared to say, all right, I'll let you have this one goal.
I'll try,
And then if you mess up, then see you later.
Adios, amigo.
Fair enough. So you're coming, obviously your first bout, signed with Boxer, and is it Boxer and Sky Sports? I do beg your pardon. How it's put together, I'm still not getting my head around it. So is it Boxer and Sky Sports, or is it just you're a boxer fighter and you're fighting on Sky Sports?
So basically, I'm a boxer fighter, signed to Boxer and Sky Sports. I can only box on the Sky Sports platform. I've done a multi-year deal to box solely and entirely on Sky Sports.
So how long is that deal, or how many fights?
So it's a 2-year deal. So we plan to have a very long relationship, but we got a 2-year deal in place at the minute. So I'm guessing we'll extend that. Everything goes well, which I believe it will. Yeah, it only makes sense. Like I feel, because the way the game is very interesting right now, and the zone, has got Eddie Hearn now. What I've noticed is that Eddie Hearn is the fans on the zone are like hardcore boxing fans, whereas Sky Sports, they have a cross of sports, all different types of sports, and they have a lot of casual fans that don't really know too much about boxing, but if they see you on Sky Sports, then you're a boxer, they follow you. And if they like you like your personality, they're gonna come.
The loyalty.
Exactly, they'll become loyal, and a lot of other people random people will follow you and follow your career. And that's what I kind of realized, that's what I appeal to. You know, if you know my story, it's not, I'm not just a boxer, you know what I mean? I feel like boxing needs people like me, because we kind of bring a message to people come from all different backgrounds that, listen, if I can do something like this, then you can also do it too. You know, if you came from a bad place, then you can change your life around. Like, it's all possible. You know what I mean? You may have to, it may be a hard kind of maybe a hard thing to do, but you can do it.
It's like lead by example.
Yeah, lead by example, and yeah, this is what is perfect for that type of platform. If I go on maybe a hardcore boxing platform, which I can do, but it's just one of them ones I just feel like it's more fitting over there. You know what I mean? That's it. I have so much love for, like,
You've always boxed on Sky Sports anyway, haven't you?
Exactly. Yeah. Since I boxed on the small hall shows at Yorkpool, and yeah, I boxed on the small hall shows at Yorkpool. My dream was to box on Sky Sports. Isaac Chamberlain was in my camp. And
was he?
Yeah, he was in my camp initially. And we did hundreds of rounds together. Even till now, we're really close.
That's funny, because Angel used to train him.
Yeah, he used to train him. So when I went to go and do some work with Angel, Isaac was there. Isaac is telling me to come to the gym, man, anytime. And I loved what they used to do, so I just wanted to experience that and see, you know, if that would work, because, you know, in boxing, skills pay the bills, and you want to add as much to your craft as you can from different ways. And, you know, Angel comes with a whole different type of style, something really unorthodox to the typical English British trainer, and that's what I loved, because you want to come with something different. And yeah, that's pretty much how I kind of got into contact with him and just started to work together.
So when you talk about bringing something different and styles, we know that you're quite, you punch really hard. I remember watching one of your matches. I think, like I said, I brought it up to you the other day, and I remember DMing you saying, did you fracture his eye socket? Can't remember your opponent. Can't
Sam
remember.
Hyde.
Right.
Sam Hyde is a warrior.
Yeah.
Big respect to Sam Hyde. He's doing good things at the minute, you know, and he's working on himself. He's got business and stuff, I heard. And I don't know what he wants to do with the boxing still, but yeah, it was a good fight. You know, he was flipping. I was getting outboxed. You know what I mean? I didn't have a clue what was going on, honestly. You know, it was just like deep water, swim or sink.
You know what? But that's good that you can actually point that out and say, well, actually, I didn't know what I was doing. So, you know, it was battle time.
It was pure instinct. I was literally fine, purely off instinct. I didn't know. You know, I didn't understand, you know, the science. Let's say the science of boxing. But I did know simple things like simple jab, or, you know, and land big shots, or try to land them. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's, you know, but one thing I did show in that fight, you know, is the will to win. And people love to see that, you know what I mean? Because everybody has their own battles, you know. Okay, I fight in the ring physically, but, you know, other people have different type of fights, probably even harder than boxing. You know, that's the truth. And it all takes that fighting spirit. The world loves a fighter, and the world despises a coward. You know what I mean? So true. Yeah, that's straight, and that's why I think I got start to get a little bit of a following there, because that's what they like to see. That it just shows them, like, don't, just because it's going one way doesn't mean that's the end of the story. You know, till that last bell rings, just keep your eyes on it. And we talk about that last bell ringing, and we talk about you saying that you had to fight off instinct, but don't you agree that instinct is still an important part of boxing? You've still got to have that instinct. Like you said, you're learning the sweet science and you're developing as a fighter. Yeah. But that raw instinct. Yeah, like instinct is important. One thing that when I started boxing, I always had that from the beginning, probably because of my environment and my family were kind of very competitive. We didn't like losing, you know what I mean? So that's a good thing. It got to a point where I was in the ring and I could be losing on points, and then I'll just have to stick on the guy. Like literally knock him out. If you don't knock him out, Richard, you're gonna lose the fight. So bang, I'm going for it and I'll end up scoring a knockout. I've done it so many times, especially in the amateurs. And when I kind of got mature and started to do more research, I realized a lot of fighters, they give up in the ring mentally. And a lot of people won't be able to notice it, especially if you're a casual fan. But if you're like a proper expert or been in there yourself, you can understand that he's done. He's not going for it no more. He's given up. But people be like, he's still throwing his hands. Oh no, trust me, he's given up. It's going to go this way. He's accepted defeat. And what I realize is a lot of fighters are like that. They don't have that type of drive to go, fuck it, like, let me go for it. Like, let me just dig
The
deep for
warrior.
the last round. I don't have nothing. I don't feel like I have anything left, but let me just go for it. They don't have that. And you know, I guess it's a blessing.
Do you think that you can train that as a fighter? Do you think you can train someone to have that warrior spirit?
Nah, because when certain people are in certain situations, they're gonna
Sink or swim?
They're gonna go back to what they feel comfortable with, because they're already uncomfortable. What's most comfortable, and that's too uncomfortable for them. They've never had to do that. They don't know that they have that reserve. Maybe they understand they don't have that reserve. That's why they don't go for it. But that's the only thing I could probably
No, I hear that.
say to kind of give that understanding. But I don't know, and I'm not them. Yeah.
So what makes you stand out from other fighters then? We've mentioned that you've got that grit, you're ready to go to war. But we'll talk about the sweet science. You're starting now to develop a style.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that and what we can expect to see from you when you get in the ring on Saturday.
Yeah, I think in regards to the science, I understand now that it's not just about fighting, but even though the people like to see that, but it's about using intelligence. And one thing that you will notice about boxing, if you're in this game for a long time, boxing is for intelligent people. And people don't understand, people won't understand that. Because they're like, you're flipping, jump in the ring and just taking shots to the head and stuff like that. But they don't understand like what the whole aspect,
What it all encompasses.
takes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so much different elements in boxing that the casual people watching this probably won't understand. They've never even heard of anything like it. But there's the business aspect, there's team, there's this, there's promoters, there's broadcasters. Like, they don't understand how it is to chain everything together and work towards a goal. You know what I mean? So if you're smart enough, you don't have to be smart yourself, but you can have smart people around you
That can advise you?
Yeah, exactly. Advise you and help to make things happen. But it takes a smart man or a woman. It takes a smart man or woman to even think like that, to even conjure up a thought like, oh, we need some smarter individuals than me around me, so we can make something big happen here. You know what I mean? So it's a smart game. Trust me, you have to be smart. It's a smart person's game. People say man, there's women boxing.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
A man as in mankind.
Yeah, mankind.
Don't worry,
humankind.
I'm not going to get start screaming about.
Hey, it's sensitive now. You have to be careful what you say these days.
Yes, we have to be careful what we say these days, but I do understand what you mean. It is an equal sport. Men and women are involved in boxing, but we're just speaking about mankind because I think people don't realise that there's a lot more to boxing. It's one of the mottos that I always go by. People just see, like you said, you're jumping through the ropes, doing all your stuff and think that's it. They don't realise the mental preparation, yeah? Obviously, you have the social media trolling. I understand some people can block that out. But boxers, they live for that limelight. They like that attention. They like to win. So to be able to have that mindset to say, you know what, I've got to remain focused. I've got to get in there. All the outside pressures, like I said, your promoters, well, you better win this fight, or otherwise, that's who deal, mate. We might knock you out. All of these different things going around in a boxer's head. It's not just about fighting. It's like you said, you're getting up in the morning, you're training twice a day, you're eating right, you're staying focused. You told me I've got 10 minutes. You're going to say, you know what, I've got to go. It's that discipline. And
Absolutely.
People don't see that.
No, people don't see that. People don't see that.
They just see the glitz and the glamour.
And that's why you see certain people at the top. And you would never understand why. You'd think they're just at the top because of their skill, they're blessed with talent. No. It's not just that. You need to think, you need to plan, you need to have a good team around you. You need to put things in place, and even boxing on a high level. You know, there's times where things may not be working out, and you have to change and adapt. You know, and it takes intelligent people to do that. High speed chess is what I call it.
And it's having that instinct to be able to change and adapt, to be, you know, fluid in what you're doing, to understand you've got to be dynamic, because everything isn't plain sailing. The road is a very, very bumpy one.
Exactly.
You know,
it's just like, you know, you're playing chess, you might use a certain opening, but then in the game of chess, once somebody else uses a different opening, you have to adapt and kind of look like 3 times. Ambrose, how you doing, man? yeah, just doing it. yeah. So you have to change and adapt to the strategy that's being used against you. If you keep on using the same thing, you can actually set yourself up where they're setting a trap for you. And next thing you know, when you get to the middle game, you've already lost. It's just a matter of time before, you know, the opportunity arises if you can checkmate. You know what I mean? So it's just that's the way this game is.
Agility.
Yeah, yes. You have to be like water, formless.
So you back in the game. What is your plan then? You got the 2-year deal, like you said. Hopefully, you know, all goes well. That will be extended. What are your goals? Yes, you've got your opponent. I understand that. But if you're looking at planning and strategy, what is your plan and strategy for the next 2 years?
It's simple. Win. Just win. Keep on winning. I've got my team in place. They're very intelligent. And all I need to do is just win. We've got a platform. I got everything now. Everything that I dreamed of having, I have it. So I just need to win. That's it. And then when I win, more things are gonna come, more opportunities are gonna come. And yeah, that's it, man. We want the world titles. You know, we want the world titles, and that's what we're training towards. And even once we get them, it's gonna be a different challenge when we get up there. But we're preparing diligently for everything that's to come.
And your eyes on the Cruiserweight division at the moment, what's your thoughts on it? Because obviously that's something that you will be focused on, because that is your weight division. There's fighters in there that you will have to overcome. So what's your thoughts on the Cruiserweight division at the moment?
The Cruiserweight division is very interesting. There's a lot of attention on the UK Cruiserweights.
100%.
I can mention like 5 names to you on the scene that are all threats, and you probably wouldn't know a lot of them, but we have our eyes on every single one of them. The way the Cruiserweight division was set up in the past, it was just the best fighters were pretty much in Europe. But things have changed now. We've got more of the limelight. And when I say Europe, I mean like in Eastern Europe. But now, like, there's some good Cruiserweights coming out. There's a lot of rivalries and competition. And it's made it more interesting, because when we fight, we're like literally fighting to win. And that's always going to be interesting, you know. See a man have to impose his will on another, and then this next man says, no, I'm not going to succumb to this. I'm going to fight you back. So it's so interesting. Even if they're not that technically great, it's always going to be interesting to see the result. And that's going to draw eyes. That's going to draw attention. And, you know, we've got these other cruiserweights there that are threats. Some of them are the gatekeepers for us to get our world titles and stuff. But there's a possibility that all the world titles can come here, you know. Everything comes down to the UK, and we're mixing it on the stage, so we're fighting in and amongst each other. But we have all the best cruiserweights will be in the UK. Now, I really think that would probably happen in the future, especially if all of the rest of the rivals stay on job, stay disciplined, because you know the sport is all about discipline. So if they stay on job, then it can be really, really big. But all I know is I'm going to be on my job. So trust me, don't be surprised I'll get one of them titles and then start unifying and stuff. You know, I believe that will come like very, very soon.
I like that ambition. I like that drive and that focus. Listen, I know I've taken up a lot of your time. You want to rest up and get ready for tomorrow. Is there anything that you want to say before I say good night, Richard, and all the best?
No, I just want to say thanks, man. Thanks for doing the interview as well. You know, it's good to see you. Like, I haven't seen you before.
No, you wouldn't have. I'm a ghost.
But it's nice to have some new faces and stuff. It's been a while, because of COVID and everybody's been going through their own issues, but just to see faces and that, it's a good feeling. You know what I mean?
Well, it's good that you take the time out, because believe you me, somebody that is relatively new, when I say that, it was a year ago, if that, probably about 11 months. Yeah,
That's
I've always
impressive.
been a boxing fan, always, but I didn't set up my channel till just under a year ago, so it's honourable that somebody of your level would speak to a smaller channel like mine.
You know what? I think growing up where I grew up, it's all about hustling. You know what I mean? And you have to have that graft in you. The people that didn't do anything, they didn't have anything.
That part.
Or they had whatever,
Minimal.
They had a minimal, and we always wanted more.
For real.
And when you see a man, when you see, like, being around Matchroom and seeing how Eddie Hearn worked and stuff like that, it's like these guys are on job. They work. They don't stop working, and that's why they are where they are, and that's why they've achieved what they've achieved. So we have to take on that same concept. And I know there's a lot of divas out here. There's a lot of divas that they'll say, oh, we only do interviews on bigger channels. They won't even give you a look in. But them people there, man, once they don't do well, nobody cares. You know what I mean?
You're so right.
But them people on the come up now, you don't know where they're gonna be tomorrow. Next thing you know,
For real.
like, because that's how it was with me.
For real.
I remember begging for interviews.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You won't believe it, but I used to have people that worked with me, and they would, like, I say, oh, can you get me on iPhone? Can you get me on this? And they'd be like, oh yeah, we do. To give me no lookings, I swear to God, no lookings, just for like an interview on iPhone. And I remember those days like it's yesterday. You know what I mean? So that's why the way I see it,
Laugh now, cry later.
cool, I worked, and now it's things that the tables have
The
turned.
tables
but
have turned.
I stay the same. You know what I mean? I stay the same. Like, let's do work. If I like you, I like you. I don't care about how, if this gets money. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Because once you keep on hustling and I keep on seeing you, I'm gonna know you're gonna be somewhere in the next year or so. Because that's how life works. You just have to keep on hustling, keep on grinding.
This has felt like a positive, motivational conversation. Listen, I'm going to let you go, but it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to speak to you after fight anyway.
Of course,
I'll be there. But listen, all the best.
Yeah, thank you
It's
very
been
much.
an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Speak to you soon.
Okay.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.